Nearly 2 in 5 Americans cut off contact with a friend or family member in the last year. And for Gen Z, it's 6 in 10. 2 South Korean F-15 fighter jets collided midair because both pilots wanted to take a photo of each other. And a family in China hired an AI team to create a realistic digital clone of their deceased son so that his elderly mother, who has heart disease, would never find out he died. This is News SideQuest. Consider this your daily detour from the things everyone are currently furious about. A new survey from Talker Research, commissioned by the therapy platform Talkspace, polled 2,000 Americans and found that going no contact with someone you care about has become remarkably common. 38% of Americans have gone no contact with a friend or family member in the last year. The generational breakdown is pretty unbelievable. For Gen Z, it's 60%, Millennials 50%, Gen X 38%, and Baby Boomers 20%. The top reason people cited for cutting off contact were being treated disrespectfully, at 36%, the relationship negatively impacting their mental health, at 29%, and the other person being too negative in general, at 27%. Of those who went no contact in the last year, 59% said they are still not in touch with that person after a year. There's more to the survey that gives the no contact numbers context. Nearly 3/4 of respondents, 73%, said they feel inclined to distance themselves from a friend or loved one when they experience difficult moments in the relationship, rather than openly communicating to problem solve. More than a third have blocked a friend or family member on social media in the last year. 40% said they'd rather cross the street to avoid someone they know than stop and chat for 5 minutes. The researcher quoted in the study notes that avoiding relationship challenges is becoming more common. Hey, we've made it an art form in the Midwest. But that approach comes with its own risks, making it harder to sustain meaningful connections over time, and potentially leading to more loneliness, which is a problem for everybody. No contact covers an enormous range of situations. On one end, it's a necessary, healthy boundary-setting tool, the only real option when someone is actively harmful to your well-being or the well-being of people you're responsible for. On the other end, the survey hints at something more troubling, a rising tendency to cut off rather than communicate. The generational gap is genuinely worth sitting with. The generational gap, 60% of Gen Z versus just 20% of baby boomers, is pretty striking. I'm not here to pass judgment on anyone's decision about a relationship I know nothing about, but have you ever gone no contact with someone? What was the thing that finally pushed you there? And what was life like afterwards? Better, worse, more complicated than you expected? Or on the flip side, has someone gone no contact with you, and what did that feel like?
Not great, Bob!
A family in China hired an AI technology team to create a digital clone of their deceased son after he was killed in a road accident. The woman they were protecting is his mother. She's in her late 80s and has heart disease. The family decided not to tell her the truth, fearing the shock could seriously harm her health. Instead, they commissioned a realistic AI replica of her son that conducts video calls with her regularly. She believes he's moved to another city for work. The AI told her he's been busy but promises to come home when he has made enough money. She tells him she misses him. She says she's sorry she can't see him in person. He says she should call more often so he knows she's doing well. The AI team leader who exposed the story described his business as being in the work of deceiving people's emotions and said that what we do is to comfort the living. I think we're going to be seeing more of stories like this in the future, and it seems like a pretty terrible thing to do to someone. I mean, the intent here is clearly love. The family isn't doing this for any malicious reason. They're trying to protect an elderly woman with heart disease from the worst news a mother can possibly receive. That impulse is real, and I certainly don't want to dismiss it. But consider what they've actually done. They've decided on her behalf that she can't handle the truth about her own child's death, and they've built an elaborate ongoing deception to enforce that decision. She's grieving a separation right now, even if she doesn't know why it feels wrong. She's talking to someone that is not her son, and receiving its comfort is real. And someday she may learn what was actually done to her. And what she will feel in that moment won't just be grief about her son, it will be grief compounded by the knowledge that everyone around her decided she was just too fragile to know the truth, and chose to manage her rather than trust her. The AI team leader is right that this comforts the living, but the living who are being comforted are the family, who don't have to have the conversation, don't have to watch her pain, and don't have to sit with her through it. The woman with heart disease is still in the dark. So have you ever withheld a painful truth from someone you love to protect them? How did you decide to do it? Were you right to do it? And if you were on the other end, discovering a truth that was kept from you to protect you, how did that land with you?
Not to mention the fact that you're talking to a dead guy!
A South Korean Air Force pilot was flying the Wingman aircraft on a return flight to base when he decided to commemorate his last flight with his unit by taking pictures. Completely understandable. He had actually announced his intention to do so during the pre-flight briefing. Investigators noticed that taking photos during significant flights was pretty widespread practice among pilots at the time. While flying back, he began to take pictures with his personal mobile phone. The lead pilot noticed this and asked another crew member in his own aircraft to record a video of the wingman. Then the wingman pilot made a sudden maneuver, climbing higher and rolling the aircraft to get a better camera angle. This brought the two F-15s dangerously close. The lead aircraft tried to descend quickly to create some space. The jets struck each other. The lead aircraft's left wing was damaged. The wingman's tail stabilizer was also damaged. Both pilots did thankfully manage to land safely. The repair bill was about $600,000. The pilot who caused the collision was made to pay a fine of roughly 1/10 of the total cost. The audit board ruled that the Air Force itself bore some responsibility for not properly regulating personal camera use. I want to note something in this story that I think is genuinely human and worth naming. This was the pilot's last flight with his unit. He wanted to commemorate that. That impulse to mark a significant moment, to have a record of something that mattered, is completely understandable. The problem is that he was inside an F-15 fighter jet at the time, which is perhaps not the optimal environment for a photo shoot. My most expensive workplace mistake was accidentally skipping a paid commercial on a radio station. I learned later it cost $500, so I've got a little work to do to catch up to this guy with $600,000. What's the worst mistake that you made at work that still makes you wince a little when you think about it? The thing you did that had consequences you didn't see coming from the direction you did not expect. No judgment here. Expensive mistakes happen.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
A Yellowstone wolf was caught on camera stealing a sign warning tourists about hungry grizzly bears. The sign has not been recovered. The animals are starting to work together, and I'm genuinely worried about what this means for the long-term balance of power. The wolf removed the sign. The grizzlies are now operating without a warning label. I don't love this development.
I tried to get an interview with him, but they said, nope, you can't do that. He's a live bear. He will literally rip your face off.
Pope Leo XIV was reportedly a guest on Bozo's circus as a child. His brother revealed this detail after his election, noting that the future pope appeared on the iconic Chicago children's program. How about that? The Pope and I now have something in common. As a fellow Chicago area person with childhood memories of Bozo, I was actually also on Bozo the Clown when I was 2 years old. It's actually one of my earliest memories.
Hey!
Germany unveiled a strategy this week for becoming Europe's strongest military by 2039. 2039, that will be approximately the 100th anniversary of a particular historical event that I will leave the listener to identify. The timing is either deeply ironic or completely unintentional, and I genuinely cannot tell which.
9999999.
A DUI suspect told the arresting officer he needed the alcohol to stay awake while driving. The officer was not persuaded. I'd consider a lifetime driving ban for the excuse alone. The reason is technically coherent. Alcohol is a depressant, so the logic would be that it's keeping his stimulant levels balanced, I guess. But this is not how any of this works, and I suspect the officer made that point.
Newsflash, you can't drink and then come to work. You're not airline pilots.
That's it for News Side Quest. 3 questions still out there. Your no contact story, whether you've withheld a painful truth from someone and whether it was right, or your most expensive workplace mistake. Shoot me an email at newsidequest@gmail.com or in the Substack comments. See you tomorrow.